least frequency because they have the same genetical sequence as animals. So when you have recessive genetics, right, you're not able to reap the benefits of a Kundalini activation because it's not acclimated to your endocrine system. Because because that's why they stop at 33 degrees in Freemasonry, because the 33rd vertebrae is synonymous to the fifth. I think it's the fifth chakra or whatever. I think whatever is synonymous to the 33rd vertebrae, they cannot activate anything after the fifth sense. Because that's because, like I said, for one, when you have recessive genetical properties, that basically puts an encryption on your heart chakra. Because you have a certain demographic when they have their heart chakra, the thymus gland is depleted from anywhere from 7 to 13 years old. So the thymus gland is connected to the energy of the heart chakra. So when you don't have the thymus gland, it steals electrons from your source, your soul, because the heart is the seat of the soul.
Wow.
So when you don't have a soul, you don't have a symbiotic connection to the planet. So that's why everything they do in their system basically goes against nature, because they're not of nature.
Wow. Woo, there's some deep stuff, right, y'all? Yeah, there's some powerful stuff. I'm feeling the energy right now, y'all. Let's get to the next question. And there's plenty of them in the chat. Oh, you got the people going off. There's plenty of them in the chat. Somebody says, is there an Anunnaki presence in the South Pole?
I'm not sure, but I know there's an Anunnaki presence beyond the ice wall, and there's a door, there's a metaphysical door that's outside the ice wall, to where you're not able to breach the firmament. You have to be vibrating at a certain frequency in order to get through that fermented door. There's like an actual door beyond in the Antarctica.
Like literally,
there's a door, yeah, where you have galactic ice. It's made of liquid nitrogen and things of that nature. So you're not able to infiltrate it, and because you have to have a certain molecular structure to even go inside that portal. Because it's kind of like the same thing how spaceships and not airplanes, but spaceships, it needs to be coated with melanin for interstellar travel. So it's kind of like the same thing. So that's why you ever seen the movie Lovecraft Country, they needed the black woman in order to activate the portal.
Right.
So in order to activate certain portals, you need a certain genetical sequence. You need a certain people's genetics. This is why you have to wonder and ask the question, why you have so many black women come up missing on the planet so much.
Right.
Do they need these genetics to infiltrate the firmament? Because they're trying to escape calamity, because they know these fourth dimensional energies is coming in.
Because they tell us it's sex trafficking, but it's probably bigger than that, you're saying.
Oh yeah, it's most definitely, because they know that the black woman's stem cells, the frequency of her menstrual blood has a lot of stem cells, because the stem cells is what connects you to immortalized cell lines, to where the cells is able to replicate infinity, like Henrietta Lacks and things of that nature.
Yes, so the black woman got the top technology on the planet.
Most definitely. Yep.
Powerful. Wow. All right, let's continue, man. Y'all, I know. Come on, y'all. Give it up tonight. I'm smiling because I'll be happy when I'm able to produce shit like this, y'all.
Appreciate
when I bring, you know what I mean? I just follow my spirit. My spirit said, man, you got to get BDELL to break this shit down. I was like, I'm gonna call BDELL. I called you at 11 o'clock last night or something like that?
Man, I was dead asleep because I work, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? I'm working, I work third shift and stuff, and I'm full-time dad. So you called me to crack and sleep. It was cool, because I had to get up anyway. So it was cool.
All right. So yeah, I'm happy that we were able to do this. Somebody wants to know, so when blacks mix their race, can their off seeds reach Kundalini? I guess biracial. I guess
yes, because the woman is already born with her potential children is inside the ovate cell. So the woman, holds that frequency and that power. So it really doesn't matter if you amalgamate with a different race. If you deviate it out to a different race and you have mixed children, they're still able to reap the benefits of a certain metaphysical ability.
Next question. What is the best way to harness? You okay? You want a break, brother? You okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay, I just want to make sometime I'll be needing a water break sometime myself. And when you spin like how you spin, you may need a water break, my brother. So I want to make sure you good, my brother. I want to make sure you good.
I'm straight.
What is the best way to harness more Kundalini energy? They want to know.
Semen retention. Stop watching pornography. Because like I said, when you watch pornography, it steals electrons from the soul. Stop, listen to love music. You know what I'm saying? Listen to R&B music. You know what I'm saying? I understand how, the great majority of our people, we like to be entertained, but you also want to have a certain type of balance. Use that balance, listen to some neo soul music. If you want to, that's how you raise up your vibrational frequency, semen retention, and listen to some really good music. I go to sleep sometimes. I listen to jazz music. I have it playing lightly in the background while I'm sleeping, or I listen to some classical music because it helps create more neurons in the brain.
Let me ask you your thoughts on this. So I got a couple of brothers that came on here and was teaching telling the brothers to practice semen retention more. Wayne Chandler. I just had his brother Kulu, I think the brother name is you, as well as other brothers come on here and talk about the importance of semen retention. But what you notice is that the cultures or the groups or organizations that practice they say they practice semen retention, like let's say the Catholic priest or something, they end up being big time freaks. So it's like, does that shit drive you crazy if you don't let that shit out? Because these groups that be like, oh, we don't have sex, they end up being the biggest pedophiles on the planet. So it's like, is that you? Do you think that's a little dangerous not to let that shit out, brother?
It depends, but like I said, some people, that's based on who they are, based upon their genetical sequence. Some people are deviants by nature. So like I said, it's we didn't have all these things that was, manipulating us. We didn't have, the television networking system. We didn't have all this propagation and everything as far as the rap music and stuff, and telling us to, lay with this one, lay with that one, or watch pornography. But as far as the Catholic priest, I don't know,
Let's get to the next question. Shape shifting. What's your thoughts on that, my brother? Shape shifting.
Shape shifting is very real. So this is why, like I said, when you have the UV radiation light spectrum, when it speeds up in vibration, what happens is it activates the spiritual eye, also the two physical eyes. So this is why, they want to hit people with the draconian juice or the Jabberwocky, because the Jabberwocky basically dematerializes the spiritual eye. So this is why, a lot of people, kind of like what Credo Mutwa said. Credo Mutwa said that you're able to, when you go into the fourth dimension, you will be able to see many different shapeshifters and entities. But that's why they want to hit you with Jabberwockies and draconian juice, because it shuts down the metaphysical eye. Because they know that when a planet speeds up in vibration, you know what I'm saying, it basically decimates the illusion.
Indeed. Okay.
So in order to keep you sleeping docile to where you're not able to decipher what's going on, that's what they do. They basically use the draconian juice in order to, combat that type of energy.
We're gonna do two more questions, then I gotta get out of here, family. Okay. What you think of free energy through Tesla's work?
It's a possibility, but like I said, he's kind of, in my opinion, I think he's one of those people that's like very neutral. I haven't really did any research on Nicholas, Tesla's work, but I know that the inception point of his work was based upon the metaphysical essence of vortex mathematics, the 3, 6, and the 9. So that's the only thing I know about his work as far as like opening up portals and the key to the universe, which is basically man, woman, and child, the black man, the black woman, infinite energy. So I don't really haven't really did his any research on his information when it comes to free energy.
Okay. And let's get to one last question. Let me see. I'm trying to. Well, let's just ask this. They want to know. I'm seeing more comments than questions right now. They want to know what do you think about polygamous relationships? What's your thoughts on that, my brother?
Well, polygamy in itself is the inception point is based on a matriarchal energy, right? So that's how you build nations. Polygamy is really for nation building. It's not because you want to have some type of sexual proclivities or you have some type of sexual gratification that you want to embark on. So it's really meant for nation building. That's what the inception point of it, as far as polygamy is for. So if people did it the right way, we'd be able to combat, economic disenfranchisement and dehumanization that's being perpetuated by the system.
Let me just ask this other one. Damn, where's it at? Do you have any info on Ophiuchus or are you able to see that on the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, yeah. Do you have any info on that? Ophiuchus or whatever that says?
No, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have info on that, family. Let's see if we get yeah, we already talked about the well, for those who came in late, just to reiterate real quick, they want to know the 4 UFOs shot down and the 4 hazmat spills. What's your thoughts? Just to close it out, because we got about 3,500 people and a lot of them came in late. So
okay, well, as far as like the biochemical warfare, I told you the World War III is based on dematerializing the God mind. The war is with the mind. It's not really a war with your, so-called China and things of that nature. So they trying to create desolation and calamity on purpose. Because like I said, they know that God is the highest extension of the mind, which uses elements of matter to express itself, where you can manipulate the matrix system based upon your mental frequency. So now, as far as the UFOs, like I said, there's a diametrical difference between a real UFO that's created by the oligarchs and the world governments. Then you have a UFO that's coming from different dimensions and different galaxies and star systems. Now, the UFOs that's from different star systems, those are the ones that's manipulating the electromagnetic grid on the planet, that's basically terraforming the magnetic field to where you have these fourth dimensional energies that's able to come in. The UFOs that's being shot down, those are all, created by the government. Because if you want to be, very logical and analytical about the situation, you're not going to be able to shoot down a UFO that's able to transmute itself and go into fourth octave ether. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's high technology. Yeah. They got technology that's 100,000 years ahead of us. They got elements. They got 200,000 more elements that's not even acclimated to the Earth paradigm. You see what I'm saying? Indeed. So that's why I said they would, because they use element 115, which is a superconductor of carbon. So that's how they use the cloaking technology, because the cloaking technology is based on the usurpation of the electrical grid. So that's why you have certain places where they be like, oh, well, the technology and the phone towers is not working in this area. That's because the grid is being manipulated from the usurpation of the ship that's basically cloaking itself in a cloud. Kind of like how the movie in Nope. Because if you notice, when they showed the UFO, nothing, the technology was just fine. But when it was cloaking itself, all technology shut down. It's the same process.
Family, ladies and gentlemen, we got a rising star within this conscious or woke or whatever you want to call the folks that's on YouTube. Brother BDELL, I want to thank you, man. You did a phenomenal job tonight, my brother. Absolutely phenomenal. I want to thank you for coming on. Leave the people with your information before you get out of here. Everybody's going to want to know how to contact you, my brother.
Okay. My YouTube channel is D as in dog, ELL1014 B.
A lot of people hear us talk about it, but they get a little confused with the terminology. So I guess we could start out simply with simple terms and try to that they use when they talk about the quantum field to help people to understand what's going on energetically. magnetically, electrically, and whatnot. So when we hear photons, and I hear you use this word photons, BDELL, what can you tell us about photons for somebody who really wants to tap into this universal currency, understand who they are, and be the best version of themselves? Let's start out with a few terms, my brother. What are photons?
Photon is basically a holographic projection that creates the Semitic language, which is connected to the alphabetical symmetry of light, because it creates a tetrahedron energy, and the octave vibration of those of those tonal languages can open up portals, take you to a different space and time, to where you reap the benefits of everything that basically that you deserve in this reality. So that's why when you look at it from a theological context, when you're talking about Psalms 82 verse 6, it says that ye are gods. So that means that we're a microcosm of the macrocosm, so we can manifest our own reality just based upon the principles of our thoughts through electrical Ethereal energy. So the best way to manipulate this matrix system is to tap into our ancient languages, which has basically been stripped away from us from colonization and dehumanization.
What would you say? You mentioned the Kemetic language. What would you say about Hebrew, Latin, Spanish? Like, what would you recommend? Where would you recommend somebody who just knows one language like myself? What would you recommend to start if we really want to tap into that supreme magnetism with the ancient tongue?
I say that anything that's conducive to ancient Proto-Semitic, or like I said, or ancient Kemetic languages, but we've been socialized and indoctrinated with the European dialect. Is basically puts a reversive frequency on our neurological capacity and on our molecular structure, to where we cannot reap the benefits of everything that we want to manifest in this three-dimensional reality. So I say Kemetic languages if you want to get certain transliterations, breaking down etymology to where you have a intuitive understanding on how to manipulate this matrix system.
I remember Polite, or I think it was Polite. Somebody used to say the ancient languages, you use parts of your throat or your tongue that we don't even use no more. Like they'd be like, or something like that, and we don't say it sounds funny, but we don't even talk like that no more. So
most definitely,
they're definitely.
I'm gonna tell you what happens is it basically stimulates the pineal gland. So because, like I said, the ancient Proto-Semitic languages contains two elemental compounds from the periodic table, which is carbon and silicon. So it's basically highly magnetic because it contains a form of magnetism. So this activates the neuroendocrine transducer, which is the God particle, which activates the God body, which puts the endocrine system in alignment to where you can manifest as a God.
So I've heard we've both heard the brother Yaki. We're both familiar with Yaki. You've done videos with him. I've done videos with him. He talks a lot about structured water. So would structured water form sacred geometry within the water that helps our body 100 times better than dead water that we get from these pipes that's like on 90-degree angles? If the English language is dead, would you say when we use it in a poetic form, like rap music or just music in general, would that be like the structured water? Would that be structured sound? So if we want to manifest, if we try to manifest through song format, then it would be 10 times or 100 times stronger, because that would be structured sound, just like there's structured water.
Most definitely, only if it's operating at 432 megahertz frequency, which is the love frequency. So the music in itself is very important, especially, the beats, because when you look at the word instrumental, the word mental is in there for a reason, because it's conducive to a phenomenon to where it activates the God mind. So most of these, the music, the trap music, all these, hip hop that perpetuates gangsterism, it basically puts an encryption on your anatomy to the point where it's, like I said, it's electrical, so it's acidic to the body. So the structured water in itself, like I said, if it depends what frequency and vibration that the music is vibrating on. because we're made up of 75% water. So most of the music, like I said, has turned into a biological weapon. Everything has been compromised.
Right, right, right. I was looking at something on YouTube and they were talking about sacred geometry, and they were saying how the geometries act as antennas to resonate with the higher planes of creation. So they were saying that the pyramid is the sacred geometry that resonates with the astral plane. So they said what the ancient Egyptians did, if you look at the pyramid from the top down, it's like a slight indentation, so it's not a perfect pyramid. So they like changed it, and they said when they made that change, they did that so that it could resonate with a different frequency higher than the astral realm. So could you talk to me about sacred geometries and whether we're doing it through yoga? Because we could form an antenna shape and we could bring down certain downloads, or you could have like a I don't have it with me, like a pyramid with you, like a diode or something like that. Could you talk to me about pyramids sacred geometry acting as antennas to higher realms of existence?
Yeah, well, the pyramids, like I said, well, you also have the gold cap missing off the pyramid. So the pyramid in itself is what, dematerializes everything in the three-dimensional paradigm. So these pyramids were basically energy centers used to balance out the planet. But that's why you had them on certain ley lines, because they're based on certain energy points in certain geographical locations. So these pyramids have the ability to create tetrahedron energy, which connects you to the fourth dimension. So, like I said, that's a reason why they put these pyramids on certain geographical points on certain land masses.
Indeed.
So,
okay.
Oh, go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, okay. So yeah, so we talked about, we're talking about pyramids and sacred geometry, and I asked you about about photons earlier, and I want to ask you now a simple definition. What would you say an electron is? Because if we're talking about manifesting in the quantum realm and bringing things into existence, electrons play a major role. So I want the people to know in a simplified version, I think you're an expert at doing that, what exactly an electron is.
Electron works on the principles of Ethereum electrical energy, which is your thoughts. So it's based on creation. So like I said, when you amalgamate the Ethereum energy with light, that's how you manifest through everything through magnetism. So like I said, this is how you activate